this well with love and respect. It's easy to do, and it's bound to connect.
I was the Scoutmaster of the pack for like 11 years. I just thought, you know, the way I can give back to the troop is maybe to step in as Scoutmaster, but only when Mr. McGee was ready to be done, and the timing worked out. You know, once they knew we had Owen, they knew that they had an 18-year commitment from me, essentially, and that was important for them. So I think it's good for the troop to maybe have some longevity.
You know, they say scouting is a game with a purpose. So it has to be enjoyable first and foremost, but there's a reason that you're doing it also. And Troop 75 does a spectacular job of really bringing that ideal of scouting to the forefront, is a game with a purpose.
Started out through Pack 75, so since associated with St. Mary's Parish, that's where we attend church. So that just was the tie-in there. And then most of the boys in my den decided they wanted to join 75, so obviously keeping with their friends and stuff like that. I didn't know any of the other adults really joining the troop, but all great guys and lots of experience there.
Much like Troop 75, my troop was boy-led, so we had a lot of input and a lot of decision-making with regard to our annual program and our plan. There was a lot of responsibility given to the youth leadership, so very similar in that regard, which is great, because I think that's really where the boys get the most benefit, and that's where they shine. So that's kind of one of the things that I think was attractive about Troop 75 when my boys were looking to cross from Cub Scouts.
I'm very lucky in another aspect, and that is, unfortunately, some parents can't be out doing as much as I'm able to do, but I get to share those experiences and hopefully relay those to those parents, even if they couldn't be there.
That's one of the things I really enjoy, and I often look back at the times spent camping with the troop and enjoying all the fellowship and the good times of preparing meals and enjoying meals together.
I'm a merit badge counselor, I think, for 8 or 9 merit badges. I do personal management a lot, and I enjoy doing that. By the way, this taught me what I wasn't teaching my kids, because I was amazed at what the boys didn't know, and then I thought, well, my boys don't know this stuff either. It's a real chance to make a difference. You know, financial management, time management, and your career are life skills. So I enjoy that one.
Heard a number of people on the Appalachian Trail will make a point to tell us, you know, how impressed they are with the Scouts. A lot of times these things happen without our knowledge at all, because the Scouts are might be, you know, hiking separately from the adults, or they get into camp earlier, and we find out later that, you know, they help some people out, and I always love hearing stuff like that.
Put your straight edge of your compass on the magnetic north line, which is going to be about right here, and then just spin it around. Spin it like so. So you can see that the north arrow and the direction of travel arrow are in line. So now your map is pointing in the right direction. So if you're here on the trail and you want to go to here across country without the trail, then you're going to want to put your straight edge on where you are and aim it towards where you want to go. And then you can see now your north arrow is no longer touching your direction of travel. So you're holding your compass still. You want to turn your wheel until your index mark here is lined with north. Then take a look at your dial and you'll see that we are at about 310 degrees. So we want to go 310 degrees. If you want to line up the your bezel indicator with the north-south arrow, that lets you know that north is that away, and we're going to go that away, 310 degrees. So if you'll notice, I've got this thing about 310 degrees now. If you look straight up that way, you'll see there's a pretty good sized tree right there at 310 degrees. Look as far as you can in the distance and find yourself a landmark. You can look through here, you're going to line this up with the 310, and then you're going to look through the notch and through your sighting wire here. Now if you just look up through the sighting, it should be, you see the tree right out there. Once you've got that, you just walk to that tree and then you repeat the process. If you make sure that north arrow stays lined up with the index mark from the bezel, then as long as you keep that lined up, you'll be walking in the right direction.
There's lots of advice that Mr. McGee has given me and many other scouts over the course of the years, but I think the one that sticks with me the most and the one that I find most applicable even in my job today is having my quiver of arrows always ready, and that being the leadership principles and little tricks of the trade that you learn over the course of your time in scouting, and those McGee and the other adults really try to impress into you. And I've really had some opportunities in my current role as a supervisor where I've had to reach into that bag of that quiver of arrows and pull out one and use it, and it's worked. So as much as I hate to admit it, I think that's the thing that's both stuck with me and been the most useful.
Oh, stewardess.
Girl who wants air.
Today, Junior?
This month's gear tip is a mind blower. It's a method of using a piece of equipment that every one of you have, but not all of you have thought of using it in quite this method. Are you ready? This most important piece of gear, it's you. There have been a lot of meetings about the points of the Scout Law, and everyone seems to understand what they are. Let's talk about putting those points of the Scout Law into practice whenever there's a duty roster involved. Let's say it's Sunday morning, we're packing up camp, everybody's getting ready to go. Those guys aren't done rolling up their tarp yet. Ask if they need help. You want some help? Yeah. Why are you taking so long to sweep out the pavilion? Help him. If you see someone struggling, ask if they need help. Or better yet, just help.
Oh, hold on, I'll help you.
Grab a spare broom, help sweep. Grab a spare shovel, help dig that hole for the ashes. There's a saying, more hands make lighter work.
Many hands make light work.
There's another saying, the most successful people didn't get there by themselves.
You don't get anywhere with your success by yourself.
If you offer to help, no one's gonna be upset, no one's gonna yell, and you get to eat breakfast on Sundays sooner. Like I said, there's been a lot of talk about the points of the Scout Law. You guys did videos about them last month, but let's put them into practice now. Be kind and courteous to your fellow scouts and offer to help. Try that on your next camp out.